In my study groups, we spend a lot of time and attention exploring the muscle mechanics of consciousness, how raising your spiritual vibration inevitably triggers a growth period where the physical body has to strain, adapt, and catch up. When people hit that somatic friction, the ego's immediate reflex is to look for an exit ramp. We want to escape the heaviness of the human condition. We chase transcendence, retreat into abstract higher density floating, and convince ourselves that true enlightenment means unhooking from the messy, predictable demands of physical reality. We turn spirituality into an elaborate escape hatch and convince ourselves we're ascending. But wisdom eventually reveals a quiet, radical truth. Awakening was never meant to be a flight from life. You did not incarnate onto this planet merely to spectate from a floating cloud or sit in perpetual detachment. The purpose of spiritual growth is not to abandon reality, but to return to it with greater presence, intention, and clarity. True mastery isn't found in rejecting or trying to fix the world. It is found in bringing the full depth of your awareness directly into ordinary moments. Spirituality is not separate from creating, building, relating, and expressing yourself in physical form. You came here to experience this world, shape it, and play within it. Steiner, Adler, and the illusion of the celestial escape. This tension between spiritual floating and physical engagement is where two of the 20th century's most profound thinkers offer us an essential blueprint. The esoteric philosopher Rudolf Steiner warned extensively against what he called the Luciferic temptation. In Steiner's spiritual science, the Luciferic force is that subtle, seductive impulse that tempts the human soul to flee the physical earth. It promises a floaty, ungrounded mysticism, encouraging you to live in a blissful, ethereal haze where you never have to deal with bills, bodies, or boundaries. I often see this in mystics who have an emphasis on over-intellectualizing spiritual concepts. They understand the world through flowery language and faux scientific ideas, and consider themselves evolved. Steiner argued that true initiation is the exact opposite of this kind of floaty and pseudo-intellectual escape. The goal of the spirit is not to float above gross matter, but to penetrate it, bringing high spiritual forces down into physical education, right labor and work, creative art, and daily interactions. If your spirituality doesn't make you more capable of building and creating in the physical world, it isn't awakening. It's just celestial anesthesia. And this is different than manifesting. It's living within one's own context in a deep and meaningful way. From a psychological perspective, Alfred Adler identified the exact same trap. In Adlerian psychology, human health is measured by our willingness to face the concrete tasks of life, work, friendship, and love within the human community. The first of these ties is that we are living on the crust of this poor planet, Earth, and nowhere else. Whatever we do, our actions are our own answer to the situation of human life. Alfred Adler noted that when people feel overwhelmed by the demands of life, they often develop an inferiority complex, which they promptly disguise as a superiority complex. In spiritual circles, this looks like using detachment or transcendence as a clever shield. We claim we are too evolved for office politics, romantic vulnerability, or social obligations, when in reality, we are simply terrified of being tested by ordinary human relationships. Adler reminded us that true courage is the willingness to participate, contribute, and be imperfect within the material world. The mechanics of bringing spirit down to earth. When you attempt to use spiritual tools to bypass physical reality, the energetic signature in your space is instantly recognizable. You pull your awareness entirely up into the 6th and 7th chakras, leaving your lower self cold and starved. Your first chakra, grounding, safety, and physical survival. Second chakra, sensations, emotion, and pleasure. And third chakra, action and physical will, become disengaged. You hover 3 feet above your head, acting like a ghost floating in and around your own life. Real clairvoyant integration requires you to bring the high vibration of spiritual awareness all the way down into your feet. First chakra integration. Using your grounding cord not to run away from the earth, but to anchor your spirit so deeply into the gross matter of the planet that your physical body feels absolute permission to exist and build with you as the driver. Second chakra creation. Channeling your intuitive awarenesses, mental image pictures, and consciousness directly into physical creation, artistic expression, sensual presence, and real-world play. Third chakra execution. Using your personal will to take concrete action. Building businesses, cultivating relationships, and managing your daily tasks with effortless seniority that allow you to have real impact. Spiritual awakening isn't about vacating the building for greener pastures. It's about turning the lights on inside your house and welcoming the stranger to your door with kindness, authority, and clear seeing. Trust-only movement. Life happens at the level of events, not of words. Trust movement. Alfred Adler Weekly. Reading exercise. The Incarnation and Grounding Audit Pair. Up with a reading partner this week, or in your own clairvoyant meditation practice, use your tools of discerning and focus them on the difference between the true self and a dominant subpersonality. You can also ask these questions in a reading with a psychic. Book a session with me if you want to look at these things together. The Luciferic Floating Scan. Look at the position of the readee's spirit relative to their physical frame. Is their awareness sitting firmly in the center of their head, or is it hovering above the crown chakra in an ungrounded attempt to avoid physical reality? Checking the lower triad. Scan the first, second, and third chakras. Identify where the readee has cut off energy or assigned unspiritual labels to physical tasks and responsibilities like making money, career building, or emotional vulnerability. The Adlerian Task Scan. Look at the cords running from the third chakra out into the world. Is the readee using spiritual concepts or detachment as a shield to avoid a specific real-world tasks that are foundational to the human experience? A relationship, a creative project, or a career decision? Healing focus. Give a clean healing to the vertical channel running from the crown to the base of the spine. Run a brilliant stream of cosmic gold down through the lower chakras and into the grounding cord. Help the readee claim total permission to inhabit their body, shape their environment, and play in physical form. Kai Chi. One small step, the material anchor practice. The next time you catch yourself feeling overwhelmed by daily responsibilities, human relationships, or work deadlines, feeling the sudden urge to retreat into spiritual floating. Hit the pause button. Stop trying to mentally detach or over-intellectualizing. Step squarely into the center of your head and be present with yourself and your context. 2. Touch the material world. Reach out and place your physical hand on a solid object near you. A wooden desk, a stone, a coffee cup, or the soil of a plant. Feel its texture, weight, and density. Claim the incarnation. Ground your first chakra deeply into the core of the planet. Take a deep breath and state silently to your space. I am not here to escape this world. I am here to bring my awareness directly into this moment and build something. Journaling prompts for deep integration. The bypassing audit. Where in your life are you using spiritual vocabulary, over-intellectualizing spiritual concepts, detachment, or high-frequency perception as a clever excuse to avoid an uncomfortable task of adult life, work, relationship, or community? Evaluating the floating tendency. In what daily routines or environments do you tend to pull your energy out of your lower chakras and hover above your body? What would it look like to bring your presence and unique energy directly into those exact moments? Shaping the material world. If awakening is ultimately about building, creating, and expressing yourself in physical form, what concrete project, or relationship is asking for your present-time energy right now? From insight to integration. A blog post can spark a revelation, but a practice builds a life. Information without practical application is just nice ideas and doesn't create meaningful growth and change. If the concepts of energetic anatomy, self-remembering, and dynamic boundaries resonate with you, let's take them off the screen and into your daily routine. Join a study group to access the complete library of tools, meditations, and techniques designed to help you run your own energy with absolute precision. Click here to learn more about upcoming study groups. For over 25 years, I have been driven by a single, uncompromising objective: to strip the illusion out of the unseen world and hand total energetic autonomy back to the individual. My work, both in high-fidelity private sessions and study groups, is to help build your own psychic capacity to interface with your lived experience cleanly, autonomously, and without dogma, using your inherent spiritual and intuitive gifts. Book a session